Hey there, Rebecca Moore here. Hang on, I'm just going to show my face. Welcome, welcome. This is day 10 of my series. I cannot believe it's already been 2 weeks here. I'm getting so much more comfortable with getting on here, even if I'm having a bad hair day. But anyway, welcome. I am doing this early today because I'm about to go on vacation and I have to go drop off my dog and hop on a flight. So I just wanted to welcome you this morning to 15 Days to Prosperity. And this is for entrepreneurs who really want to mind the mental gap between where you are today and where you want to go, where you want to be. And I'm just proposing or sharing some tools to shift your thinking from worry and scarcity to prosperity, and to create a more joyful approach to grow your business with confidence. And it's really for entrepreneurs who want to grow faster but are stuck or spinning their wheel or at cross purposes. And yesterday we spoke about how to manage your emotions and eliminate drama and suffering and anxiety with 2 tools. First, it was understanding and visualizing the vibrational scale of emotions and thinking of them as a spectrum so that you can release and shift from your icky emotions to more helpful emotions. And the second tool was kind of a purging process. Think of popping a balloon. And it's a way to eliminate stuck emotions, which have really a negative and heavy, intense vibration. And today we're going to talk about how to distinguish between thoughts and emotions. And this is something that few of us really distinguish. We just go into an emotion and don't really look at the thought behind that emotion, what caused that emotion in the first place. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you can see that. Hang on one sec, I'm going to move forward. Okay, so again, day 10, how to distinguish thoughts from emotions. And a quick reminder, next week is vacation week for my family, so we'll resume on Monday, August 9th. And at the beginning of each of these, I just remind you that if you are an entrepreneur, you are creating a new identity for yourself. And there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just the business plan, but it's really your thoughts, your actions, your words, your emotions, and your beliefs. And so we're going to break that down and help you understand what's going on in your head so that you can manage it better. And this is my little tool that helps you kind of think of the different components. And today we're going to look at the emotions that you're feeling and the thoughts that you're thinking and how that impacts your energy. Okay? So how to separate thoughts and emotions. Well, we all have the left and right side of the brain, and we know that on the right side of your brain is your creativity, and the left side of your brain is more of the logic. And as an entrepreneur, you really need to manage both. Okay, and this can be harder for some and others. And for myself, I definitely use both sides of my brain, but I tend to over-index in the creativity side. And sometimes I have to notch it down a bit because it can result in mental drama and too many ideas flowing in my brain. And so this is something that we're going to go through here, is just a quick tool. Again, we're going to use this creativity process tool. And the key here is that you have to be conscious. And again, 90% of our huge proportion of our day, we do things unconsciously. There are habits and there are things that we have just gotten used to. And so part of this is becoming a lot more conscious of what you're thinking and what you're doing. All right, so the first part of this. So say, try to think of some emotion that happened recently, whether it be, fatigue, discouragement, anything on that emotional spectrum, anger, upset. The first step is to become aware of that emotion. Focus on that emotion and see where it lands in your body. And again, I've talked about this before, for me, it lands in my neck, in my gut. And often, in ancient times, they thought that the brain was in your stomach. And actually, after, thousands of years now, we're discovering that actually your gut does tell you a lot, and it is very much related to your brain. So think about that, feel that energy, and feel how it's going through your body. That's the first part, awareness. The second part is acceptance. All right. So not only feel the energy of whatever that emotion is, whether it's anger, frustration, doubt, but pretend you are a third party and you're looking and observing that feeling and how it is flowing through your body. And the third step is take action. And in this case, the action is to just ride the wave of the emotion. And many of you have probably heard this analogy before of surfing, but just riding the wave of that emotion without resistance. The non-resistance is an important part of it, just because scientific evidence has proven that most emotions will dissipate within about 90 seconds. So if you're going to sit with that emotion and observe it, and focus on your breath, you can clear the negative charge of that vibration, of that emotion, and release it. And then you can process your thoughts. So that's the first part of it. That is really the key in separating the emotion from the thought, is to really feel the emotion first, and then you can begin to dissect where it was coming from. Okay? Oops. Hang on. Go to the next. Again, this is the vibrational scale I talked about yesterday, introduced to you. And you can kind of look on, let me just make this a little bit bigger here so you can see it. Take a look at this and try to think of an emotion that, unfortunately, let's see, can you see this here better? So think of things. I have highlighted ones that have come up for me over the past years as being an entrepreneur: fear, unworthiness, blame, worry, doubt, discouragement. All of those things come from a thought or a belief. So we'll get into that more next week or next time. But this is just kind of something that you can look at these various emotions and start to see what comes up for you. All right? Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick example, and then we'll wrap up for the weekend. And so the example I'll give is, so have you ever been on Facebook and you see someone who you really admire, but who's kind of a competitor, who's in the same space as you, and then you notice that there's a testimonial from, one of your prospects that has been hired by that person. So this has happened to many of my clients and to me, and it can easily evoke lots of emotions. And so I'll go through this process. First, be aware of emotion. What is it? So for me, it started in the pit of my stomach, and it felt really heavy and tingling up my arms, and I identified it as jealousy, which is something I do not want to feel. It's like an icky emotion. But what I did was I just focused on it and the pit of my stomach, and just sat back and let it let it, I noticed the tightness in my body, and I breathe. I said, wow, I am feeling these negative emotions, and I am making up all these stories, and I started feeling like a victim and just started to kind of notice what was going on in my body. And then when I let the intensity of that fade away, then I could start to see, well, what am I learning here? What have I done or not done that it has caused this feeling of jealousy or angst? Right? That's just a real quick example. When we work together, we go into this in a lot more detail and use existing examples. But this is just a way that you can start to, process some of these emotions. But the key here, if you remember one thing, the key is to think of notice and think of the emotion first, and then process your thought. Okay, so that's it for today. Next week, well, it's actually the week after, we will be focusing on creating new beliefs. And why I say creating new beliefs, part of creating new beliefs is actually getting rid of what I call rules. And I learned this term from Vishnalakyani of the Buddha and the Badass, and it's bullshit rules that you have held on to for years, and that you really don't need to believe anymore. So that's what we're going to do the week after next. So a couple other quick announcements before I check out and go drop off my dog. Save the date for September 20 is my next Align and Amplify series. And then if you're interested in chatting with me, you can just access my calendar by going to bit.ly/20min disc. We'll set up a 20-minute discovery call. So that is it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a really great weekend, and I will see you on the 9th. Bye-bye.